la maison des profs, des Français.
C'est l'Alliance française.
Une fille m'a posé une question, pourquoi prendre le français alors que je lui parlais de la radio Bonjour Kampala. Oh, venez, 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 venez.
Venez apprendre les français.
Je vous invite à venir.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Viens mon frère,
Venez
viens ma
apprendre les
sœur,
français.
à l'Alliance française.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Venez, venez, oh.
Venez apprendre les français. Venez à l'Alliance française.
Venez, 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 oh, oh.
Venez apprendre le français. Venez à l'Alliance française.
Je vous invite à venir.
Venez apprendre les français.
Oh, oh, oh.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Les Français dit langue étrangère la plus largement appris après l'anglais. Les Français dit langue étrangère la plus largement appris
Après l'anglais,
la connaissance du français ouvre des portes des entreprises en France.
comme à l'étranger.
La connaissance du français ouvre des portes des entreprises en France.
Comme à l'étranger.
Le français est la langue de la culture.
La langue internationale pour la cuisine.
La mode, les théâtres, les habituels, la danse et l'architecture. Le français est la langue de la culture. La langue internationale pour la cuisine. La mode, les théâtres, les habituels, la danse
Et l'architecture.
oh, oh,
Oh, I love France.
oh, oh,
Oh, I speak French.
oh,
Oh, I love France.
oh,
Oh, I speak French.
I love French.
Oh,
I love
I
French.
love French.
I speak French.
Oh,
I speak
I
French.
speak French.
I love French.
Oh,
I love
I
French.
love French.
I speak French.
Oh,
I speak
I
French.
speak French.
Oh,
Oh, I love French.
oh,
Oh, I speak French. Venez apprendre le français. Venez à l'Alliance française.
venez, venez,
Venez apprendre le français.
venez, venez,
Venez à l'Alliance française.
venez à Kamocha,
Venez
Bukoto
apprendre le
Street,
français.
Blood Sekande.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Venez dans la grande famille. Venez, oh,
Apprendre le
oh, oh.
français.
Venez mes amis.
Venez à l'Alliance française. Bien Molière, c'est l'idiot n'a pas pris. En passant pareil à Nakamura. Pourquoi tu penses que les Français tirent la internationale?
Que tu sois fondé autour du four du plaisir. Dis-moi le monde en abondant et là,
En pleine évolution.
Venez,
Venez apprendre les Français.
mes amis, venez.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
La langue
les
toi aussi,
Français.
la langue des pères.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Venez dans la grande famille. Venez à l'Alliance française. Venez apprendre le français.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Je vous invite à venir. Venez mes
apprendre
amis.
le
Venez,
français.
venez, venez.
Venez à l'Alliance
Venez,
française.
venez, venez. Tout le monde parle français.
Parlez français.
Parlez français.
Parlez français.
Everybody parle français.
Parlez français.
Everybody, Vina Moke. Vina Moke. Vina Moke.
Bina Mouké.
Everybody, Vina Moke.
Bina Mouké.
Vina à gauche.
Bina à gauche.
Vina à droite.
Bina à droite.
Vina devant.
Bina devant.
Vina derrière.
Bina derrière.
Vina devant.
Bina devant.
Parlez français.
Parlez français.
Parlez français.
Parlez français.
Parlez français. Venez, venez.
Venez à parler français. Venez à l'Alliance française.
Je vous invite à venir. Venez apprendre les français. À Kamochao.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
À Bukoto Street.
Venez
Claude
apprendre le
52.
français.
Venez, venez, venez.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Si tu veux parler français,
Venez
viens à
à
l'Alliance.
parler français.
Si tu veux parler,
Venez à l'Alliance française.
si tu veux entrer dans la famille,
Venez
viens,
à
viens,
parler
viens.
français.
Viens, viens, viens.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
The year 2022, and at exactly 25 minutes past the hour of 11 a.m. we stream to you live and broadcast to you live the first ever coffee break show on House of Talent TV. How are you doing? My name is Amoni Muksa and I welcome you to the coffee break show. Has been your year. I mean, 2020 has not been easy, but 2021, you know, I always try to add up 2020 and 2021 as 1 year. But how is your 2022 starting? My name is Amoni Muksa once again, and I welcome you to the first ever coffee break show on House of Talent TV. Of course, I'm not riding alone today. I'm with my colleague today, the one and only Emma. How are you, man?
I'm okay. How you doing?
Do you also try to confuse 2021 and 2020?
No,
2020 and 2021 as 1 year?
The only problem comes when you're supposed to sign a check and you put 2021. You go to the bank and it bounces.
You know, the year 2019, 2020, and 2021.
Yeah.
They've been like so close like this.
Yeah, it just
and flying
ran
so
through.
fast.
Yeah, they just went really through.
But how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay.
I see you pulled out the leather jacket today, looking good and everything.
African
Fresh hair.
black. Black is everything.
Yeah.
But how did you start your year, Emma?
My year was it started okay. I was actually working till about 6 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, so I didn't even cross over to the New Year properly. I went home at 6 and just slept.
Really?
Woke up in the afternoon.
So if they ask you what happened, like towards the entering of the new year,
I have
you totally
no
have no
idea.
idea. Anyway, today on this show, we're going to be recapping our events of last year. Like, how was the Coffee Break show last year? What were the best shows of our show on the Coffee Break? Me with Emma here, we shall be doing that. Emma,
Yeah.
what was your best show on the Coffee Break last year?
My best show, I think, was the one with Swabra Banks.
Swabra Banks.
Because she was the first lady to come on the show. You know, it had been a situation of we're trying to get ladies, but every time you try to get one, they come up with an excuse on that day. So you have to look for a guy. But when we got into contact with her, she actually came, you know, and there was a lot we learned from that show. For me, it was the best show, actually.
Swabra Banks. By the way, Swabra Banks is watching. Hey, Swabra Banks, thanks for watching House of Talent TV. But to me, the best show that we had here was when we first hosted under Dollar Isaac.
Yeah.
That show was so epic. You know how Isaac can talk from morning up to night, non-stop? We fought with him like to stop him to talk. You know, guy can talk. But the good thing is he knows what he talks about.
Yeah, true.
And our viewers appreciated what he was presenting to them. So that was part of my best show last year. But what are the memorable events that you had during the show?
Well, which ones can I pick?
Especially Swabra Banks, because you said it was the best part of your show.
First of all, it was good to have a cute person in the studio. We're used to just guys, you know, coming in, but
so guys are not cute, eh?
No, guys are hot. It changed the vibe. Even the guys on the camera that day, you know, were on their A game.
The end of the camera was very happy.
He was more happy. Yeah, but I think the highlights for me were having those guys who came from the UAE, guys who came from Kuwait, you know, because they brought a lot of perspective into our industry here. There's a different way that things are done in the UAE, in Kuwait, and there's a different way that things are done in Uganda. So for them having to bridge that gap of they have worked in Uganda, then they have worked in the UAE, they have a better foresight, okay, of what can actually happen in this industry, more than just the guys who have worked here. And of course, we've also had guys who have worked here and have a lot of foresight, which is good. And another good moment we had, but electricity kind of messed us up that day. We hosted a young lady. She's a farmer. She does agriculture. But I remember that day the power was on, and it was a beautiful show that actually never got aired, you know, because of the power problems.
But you spoke about the fact that we got in various people from the diaspora, UAE, Kuwait, where these guys brought a different experience here. You know, the fact that these guys go beyond Uganda and get to see that experience, get to do coffee that side, it's something unique. And now when they come down here and they share that with us, our viewers are always happy to see that. And today on the show, we're going to be having the same person. Actually, Emma spoke about people from UAE. We're having another barista who's from UAE. He's going to be sharing with us his experience. You know, you guys, the good thing about the Coffee Break is that we give you information right there, no charge. And now this guy is going to bring all the details about the art of making coffee. We shall be having a topical discussion, which I will introduce to you later on the show. But the guy we're going to be having is called Saddam Muchivi, senior barista, former senior barista with Enduro Coffee, and now is working in Arabia with a certain coffee shop that I will be telling you later on the show. So this guy is going to be here and is going to be giving all the details about coffee. So look out for that segment. That's the guy over there on your screen. Look out for that segment where we shall be sharing his story, Saddam Muchivi. Emma, the Coffee Break show is a show where people have had positive reviews. You know, I always speak to people about this show and they're like, man, whenever I want to make coffee and I don't know what to do, I go back on YouTube, I go back on Facebook and look for a certain show where I saw that they were making this type of coffee and I try to relate. How good do you feel when you get such feedback?
I'll just give you a background. Before I started doing this show, I'd never made a cup of coffee. It was new to me. So one day they tell me to make a French press, and I'd never really, what is a French press in the first place? I'd never heard of these things. Okay, but when we started the show and started interacting with guys who would actually come with their stuff on the show and make coffee on the show, you know, I started to understand, oh, this is actually what goes on behind the scenes. You know, when you go to a coffee shop, you sit, order your coffee, they bring it, you drink and go, but you never understand what actually happens behind the scenes. So these guys actually bring their behind the scenes onto the show. You know, it was kind of an amazing thing for me, and not only for me, like you said, there are people out there who go back to the show and say, now, what is a V60?
Yes.
How do I make coffee with a V60? You know, how do I use a French press? How do I make a latte? And we have gone through all those things on the show, and not only me, but I believe that even the guys out there, you guys have learned a lot from the knowledge that we have had here. You have the senior barrister here.
Emma,
The
like,
Messiah
you
himself.
like call me a Messiah by that name. You know, wherever I go, guys are like, you, the coffee Messiah. I'm like, you guys, what are you talking about? Emma has tried so much to bring me the coffee Messiah. But hey guys, you can let us know what was your best moment on the coffee break show from the last year. But also, given the fact that this is the first coffee break show this year of 2022, let us know what you feel like having the rest of the year, what you need to see on the show, who do you want to see on the show, what do you like about the show, what do you learn about the show. Well, so we are here with Emma and still going through the recap of last year. You see, Emma, the thing about the show that I also loved so much was the fact that it was the first ever, those words I'm repeating them, first ever coffee show in Uganda.
True.
That's record set. Not blowing our own trumpet, but the fact that House of Talent came up with a show whereby it's thinking about coffee, given the fact that coffee is the backbone of Uganda. For example, I was reading through the UCDA report last year, and these guys were like, you see, last year Uganda exported over 5,240,960 kilo bags of coffee, which are valued at $71.09 million US.
Wow.
Can you imagine how big
that's big.
that is?
Really big.
Coffee exports for 12 months, which is like December, which in 2020 to November 2021, totaled to 6.65 million bags worth 681.49. I repeat this, 681.49 US dollars. Guys, this is money. I don't know where we're putting all this money. Compared to 5.40 million bags worth 514.37 US million bags, which we exported the previous year, the other year, 2019. So the previous year of December and November were very, very good. So with this information that we receive, it shows that the coffee break show has had impact, a huge impact on coffee development and also coffee production, coffee awareness in Uganda. And our goal is to see that Africa and worldwide, we are the #1 show of the coffee.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We're already there. So Emma, what do you think that these guys are doing with this kind of money? Because $618 million, that's a lot of money. And now when I see, okay, I'm not trying to go political, but when I see Uganda that it's over like in a 61 loss, like, I mean, like the debt they're being demanded as a country, I wonder, why can't we utilize that money? Since coffee is our backbone, and we get up there. So what do you think is being done with this money, or what could be done with this kind of money?
There was a saying for 2021 that Kampala has refused. But now if we're saying Kampala has refused and the figures you've just read there, that means there's actually a lot of money that, you know, is flowing in. And imagine that is just from one sector, that is coffee alone. Okay, and there are not that many people involved in coffee. That's the most amazing thing. I mean, you can count the number of baristas, you can count the number of farmers who are educated, leave alone the farmers who just grow it there and sell it not knowing, you know, what happens in the process. There is a lot of CEOs who own businesses. I believe your boss also. And with all that money flowing around, like you asked, where is this money going?
Where's this money going?
It's just that I think that people have not yet found a way to tap into that money. All right, so the money is just, it's swimming there, just waiting for people to tap into it. I mean, if I decided to start a coffee business today, or start a farm, or start a coffee shop or something like that, I believe that I would have tapped into that. Now, how much do I get out of it becomes the only question. Yeah, so you have to get into that door to tap into all that money, and it's there.
Yeah, it's there. Money is there.
Yeah.
The fact that we have all this money circulating is just tapping into the right vessel,
Yeah.
so that can, be hopeful. Well, guys, I think we've given you our best show or moments of the Coffee Break show. Go down on our social media platforms and let us know what was your best show throughout the year 2020, and so far 2022, what's the best thing you've seen so far? Well, our social media platforms on Twitter, it's HTV1 Uganda. You can go up there and follow us on Twitter, but also YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube. That's House of Talent UG. You can also go there and subscribe. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can always get our content everywhere on YouTube. That name is House of Talent Uganda. But also we're streaming live on Facebook as House of Talent UG. Go there and follow our Facebook page so that you can get to watch our videos whenever you miss them when we're live. So guys, we're going to go into a short commercial break. Don't you go away.
What are some of those things that we can do, all right, to make sure that Uganda becomes a nation that actually consumes its own coffee? Because we have, the Bubu, by Uganda, okay?
Yeah.
So how do we get ourselves into that state where we actually, before thinking of exporting our coffee, actually get to consume our own coffee? How do we get there?
First of all, we need to train our people.
Yeah.
So we need more training, more sensitization about coffee.
Yeah.
Those guys that came first before us, they have that negative side of coffee. Like telling someone that coffee you will lose sleep when you take coffee. You can't. It just keeps your body awake, not only the mind. Me have to take water every morning. Yeah? So if I take water every morning, I can take like 5, 6, 7 cups of coffee and I sleep properly. Yeah. So we need to sensitize our people. Yeah. And we need to give them an example that is true. Yeah. Ethiopia is a good exporter, but quality coffee in Ethiopia comes from Migachafe. That quality coffee is consumed within the country. Yeah. So you first appreciate what you're growing before you take it outside. Yeah. So you need to train so much from the farm level. Like 80% of our farmers, they just grow, sell, but they have even never tasted the coffee. A good percentage of our farmers. So from the farm level to the general level, we need to train. That's what we need to do. Even though we put each coffee at a lesser price, like the consumption will not go high. So we need to first train. Then other things will be coming up.
Okay.
But training is the key to everything. Like we need to sensitize our Ugandans good about coffee. Like after taking coffee, you feel this, you get this. Like we appreciate what you are growing. So you see Ugandans taking more of the matoke. Like they appreciate more than sending it.
Okay.
So training is the key to everything.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. You're still watching House of Talent TV, and the show is known as the Coffee Break Show with me, Amon Mukisa, right here with the one and only Emma.
Amon, what's up?
I'm just here, man. You know, the vibe of being around coffee is something that's epic. Given the fact that you get to, smell those scents, get to read about certain information about coffee, is something that I like about being in coffee. What do you like really about amazing. Being around coffee?
Coffee itself is a community. Yeah.
Like actually the word coffee is people.
Yeah.
The phrase. Yeah.
So it's like a community, especially in Uganda. There's a particular community of people who actually take coffee. It's not yet, coffee hasn't really seeped its way through, our Ugandan culture. So there's just a group of people who take it. Even when you go to the cafes, there's a particular group of people who take it. So with every community, it has its own nuances. There are relationships that are formed. Like I would never have met you, if it wasn't for coffee. That was the initial thing that allowed us to meet. And met guys like Isaac of Brew Plus, met many amazing guys. So the starting point was coffee. Then it has all these branches of creating relationships, creating different kind of business ideas, different kind of content. What we are doing right now is because of coffee. So coffee is not only a drink, it's not only an export, it's an amazing product that can actually birth a lot of things. And we can see the results even, right here, right now. Yeah.
Well, what would you say, like you've hosted various shows about coffee, over 20 shows about coffee. What would you say that we are lacking in the coffee industry in Uganda? You as a person, like according to the experience you've had and also the interactions you've had with various people, what would you say that it's that one thing that we are lacking to get up there?
I think the thing we're lacking is unity. Because I realized with most of the guys who actually came on the show, you have a certain set of baristas, then you have a set of roasters, then you have the farmers.
But sorry to interject in there. But you see, in coffee, it's the same general thing, but there are segments. Like you find a barista is very, very good at being a barista, but you find a roaster is very, very good at being a roaster. For example, the guest we are going to have, Saddam Muchibe, is very good at being a barista, but it doesn't stop him from getting just an idea about roasting or about farming. But you find, remember the show you had with Abdul? Abdul is a good roaster. Very, very good. But when you bring him to the barista part of view, he'll be sketchy, But when you bring him to roasting, he'll just murder you.
He has all that knowledge.
He has all that knowledge over there. So the thing is, the unit you're talking about is hard to achieve because everyone is like concentrating. Of course, it's a chain, but everyone is trying to concentrate in their department so that they bring out the best thing. So I don't know why you say that we are lacking that unity part.
So I like how you said it. They actually call it a chain. So if there is just one breakage in the chain, it divides both sides. You get that? Okay. So I don't remember who it was. He came and said that even with the UCDA and other organizations that deal with coffee, you have a situation whereby, let's say, the UCDA does not really recognize baristas. You can go and ask any barista if they have been to the UCDA office and had a discussion with them about, what their profession. And I know 5 out of 10 they'll tell you, I've never been to UCDA. Okay, so that's the unity that I'm talking about. If the roasters and the UCDA and the farmers can actually come together. I know there are different cooperatives here and there, but the thing with cooperatives also, there's a cooperative of this side. It's like having a circle of this side, then having a circle of that side. They never really get together. I believe that with the chain, it has to stay interlinked in a way that everyone feeds everyone, if you get it. The farmer has to feed the roaster, who will feed the baristas, who will feed the export. But if me, the roaster, I wake up one day and say, I have beef for this one, baristas. You see, it causes a problem, right? If the farmer says, I'm going to give these guys bad product, okay? Good product doesn't come. At the end of it, the person who's consuming the coffee will say, man, this is trashy coffee, actually. You get that, So there should actually be a forum, which we're trying to do with the Coffee Break Show. We're trying to make a forum whereby everyone is seen as equal and everyone plays their part so that the end result is a very good one. Yeah, so
Well,
unity in that way.
This question was for Saddam, who's going to be on the show,
Yeah.
but I will also pose it to you.
Yeah,
I was reading an article where the #1 barrister champion in the world, in Africa, not worldwide, in Africa,
Africa.
Martin Shabaya, was here in Uganda recently, and I was reading his interview with a certain outlet. And he said, Ugandan coffee is the best that I've used all the times I've competed.
yeah.
And he thinks that we can do better. So why are we not getting to that point whereby we Ugandans use our coffee? This is Kenyan.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Africa, we're brothers, but this is a Kenyan guy
Yeah.
who's using our coffee to be up there. Why are we not having Ugandans, we Ugandans,
Yeah.
use our coffee to get to that international scale?
I attended a branding seminar some time back, and the lady who was hosting it said something that really struck me. She said that in Uganda, each country, each ethnicity, different people have different traits. And she said that in Uganda we're mediocre,
Mediocres.
totally mediocre.
That's a big word. Eh?
I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you. All of us say, as long as I have my kamane to eat today, I've paid my rent, I'm set.
Yeah.
As long as I can get my kamane to buy a piece of land, put a house on it, get married, I'm set. Okay? Mediocrity. As long as I can do this, I'm set. So as long as we can export coffee, yeah, as long as we can sell it here and there and make some small money here and there, we are okay. You see that kind of mediocrity?
Yeah.
Yet you have countries like Ethiopia, you have countries like Brazil and other South American countries who have taken this whole thing to a
another
whole
level,
new level.
yeah.
And the funny thing about it is that people take Ugandan coffee, then rebrand it and say this is Kenyan coffee, this is Brazilian coffee. Then they do something better with our product that we could have done. But what did we get out of it? Oh, we got some kamane, you know, and that's we're cool
Yeah,
with it.
we're cool with
We're
our-
cool
with
with
our
our
kamane,
money.
eh.
Yes, yet we can actually explore more on our product and make more money from it, create more opportunities from it. So for me, I would say we have a mediocrity mindset.
Well, guys, I'll pose this question to you. How do we get out of this mediocrity kind of relationship or kind of working style, whereby everything that we try to do is just a joke?
Yeah.
You know, that's maybe the right word.
Yeah.
For example, I was having a conversation with one guy. This guy is a tech guy. So what he decided to do was, during the lockdown,
Yeah.
he was seated over there. You know, everyone now was in their homes. So he came up with an idea of like creating up a small machine for farmers, which can detect like the alkalinity of the soil, how much fertility is in the soil,
Yeah.
so that you can anticipate how much yield are you going to get at the end of the season. For example, if you have like maybe 1 acre of coffee, and you use this machine, you just plant it into the soil,
Yeah.
and it does what it does, and at the end of it all, it will show you that your soil needs this much of fertile soils or fertile fertilizers.
Yeah.
It needs much of this water. You can add, irrigate it,
Yeah.
so that at the end of it all, it also calculates for you that you're going to get 60 tons or 60 bags of coffee. Such innovations, why can't the government come through to sponsor, at least give a hand to these guys?
Yeah.
Because this guy has used his equipment, has used his values and resources,
Yeah.
but he has managed to do all this. So just imagine we had a government come in, sponsor or give a hand to these guys.
Yeah.
And we know that if we have over like maybe 6 acres of land of coffee, and this farmer is anticipating maybe like over 150 kilos, 60 kilos of bags of coffee at the end of the season, and we increase our export
Yeah.
of coffee, but also increase our domestic use of coffee, because we're having plenty of coffee coming through on the market.
Yeah.
And through the Coffee Break Show, we can also make awareness of coffee
Yeah.
to the people. So what can be done to help, or what do you think the government or anyone else there, because it doesn't necessarily be the government, can do to help such guys who come up with such innovations?
Yeah, I mean, let's take the setup of Uganda's education. Yeah, we go to school, we study, we're expected to come out and look for jobs. Okay, we have been put in that mindset of we have to look for a job.
Look for a job.
Yes, you have to look for it.
Yeah.
Okay, then you have this group of guys who actually sit down and invent something. Okay, and like let's say the guys of Safe Border, you know, during the lockdown, guys came up with very many good ideas, some which were actually used. So there's that group of guys who actually come up with all these ideas, but the limiting factor for them is maybe the resources, the financial resources, the manpower and all this. But remember, we have been taught to do what? Look for jobs. We have not been taught that you can create. And you know, put it out in the market and actually be a what? Let's say be an employer. Okay, so for such a guy, you find that there are people at the top there who will look at his invention and ask themselves, okay, what can I get from this guy? Okay, how much money? What can I rip off from this guy down there? And the guy down there is not willing to give them anything because it's his idea. He should rip off from it. So the guys up there will just sit on that idea and be like, you know, it's a good idea, but it doesn't make sense for us because it won't make money for us. Okay, they don't see the bigger picture. They don't see that a farmer somewhere out there in Kasese or wherever is the one who's actually going to prosper, and that causes a chain effect of when that farmer prospers, the next guy in the chain will also prosper, and Uganda as a whole. So this guy is just looking at how can I put money into my pocket. So they will sit on all. I believe in every campus, especially the guys doing engineering, agriculture engineering and all these things, guys have ideas, but people are sitting on them.
Well, guys, take the conversation on our social media platforms. That's Twitter as HTV Uganda and Facebook, House of Talent UG plus YouTube, but use the hashtag The Coffee Break on House of Talent TV. Let us know how can we engage these people who have ideas so that we have a bigger picture. We come as a union or a unison together so that we have a bigger picture of something that we are doing great here in Uganda, especially for coffee. Well, coming up is Saddam Muchiri. He's going to be letting us know how best can we brew coffee, and we shall be also talking about how best can we have women in the coffee industry as Uganda. Well, don't you go away. We're going in for a short commercial break and we'll see you soon.
Get how much amount you need. In coffee industry, there's no like barista should get this amount of money. No, it depends on your knowledge. What you know is what you get. You cannot be like having junior experience and asking for experienced one. No. You can join now. Good thing, everything is simple. It's easy. Don't sit there and say, oh no, I'm scared to join this. No, it's very simple. You can make. Yeah, it's very simple. It's not so difficult. Simple, very simple, very enjoyable. You can do everything when you're enjoying. You can do your coffee, you can serve your customers. Coffee create friendship. Coffee gives you a job. Even if you are not working in a cafe, maybe you can go in different field, but still in coffee industry. Yes.
Camera.
Coffee.
You have to know each equipment. You have to know the brew ratio. Actually, the brew ratio is I
very
think
important.
the most important. Brew ratio now most people may not understand. It is the ratio of the coffee powder to water, and the yield. Water in this article will bring us into the yield. If I put 10 grams of coffee into my portafilter, how much of it am I exactly? So if you don't master the brew ratio, everything is going to turn out a mess. You understand? Even if you know that knowledge and you don't master the brew ratio.
people at the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They've moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
Me, I keep saying, I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
And I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
Prince.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. You're still watching House of Talent Television. This is the Coffee Break Show with me, Amon Mukisa. And without further delay, let me introduce to you the one and only barista Sadam. Sadam, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you.
How have you been?
I'm doing good.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Does it still apply? Happy New Year?
Of course, we are still in January. Yeah, so it's still new.
Are you Ugandan?
Of course I am.
Ah man, the hair looks
Forget about the
so in
You can just put
English,
something
Bazungu
small.
Zungu,
Yeah.
Where have you been, Sadam?
Good. So I came back for a vacation. Yeah. So I've been working from UAE. So
Okay.
after a period of time, I decided to come back and chill.
Well, guys, like I
And
told
enjoy
you guys, Sadam is a former senior barista at Enduro Coffee, and also right now a head barista in a certain coffee shop that will tell us more about it. And Sadam,
Yeah.
how long did you work with Enduro Coffee?
Almost, I think, 4 years. Yeah, I joined the Angelo Coffee after school. That was in 2015, December. So, and in the first I joined it as a cleaner. Yeah. But there was this guy called Calvin Chiinji. Now he's working in Dubai. Big up Calvin. So he introduced me to the coffee industry. I used to see him the way he's doing things. So one day I told him, I think I can do whatever you're doing. It's very easy. Like, really? Can you come and challenge me? Like, yeah. The first day, so he told me to tamp. In the first place, I didn't know what stamping is. So I just, with a lot of energy.
Well, a good thing for guys on the coffee break now,
Yeah.
they know what tramping is because we've
Of
taught
course.
all of
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, mashallah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with time, he started to train me, and here I am. I'm a great barista. I
You're a
believe
great
in
barista.
myself. Yeah.
You know what's funny? All the baristas we've had on this show,
Yeah.
the story is quite similar. Like, no barista joined the coffee industry without like having an inspiration from someone, but they just go direct from somewhere. What I'm trying to say is that no one has come on the show and said, I went to the coffee industry or to be a barista
Like
because I
normal
wanted it.
Yeah.
So even your story is the same, like you started as a cleaner,
Alright,
then Calvin was here, and then he told you, can you compete me or can you outgrow me?
Yeah.
And
In
you're
fact,
like,
he said, I think you'll be a good barista.
"Why?"
Yeah. So he decided to pave me in the same direction, and he's the man actually behind my story.
Speaking about a man behind your story, you know, when I'm here with Sadam, you guys don't know the story behind me becoming a barista.
Okay.
Guys, allow me to introduce to you the guy who trained me. He's a mentor, he's everything. Has trained me how to become a better barista, because when I joined the coffee industry, these are the guys who trained me. So here we're chilling with the big boys, okay? So when I'm with Sadam, it's always a vibe, it's always a conversation, no pressure. So today, Sadam, we're going to brew, or you're going to give us a tutorial about a V60.
Sure.
And give us information, like literally the art of brewing that cup of coffee or using that equipment to brew coffee. But before we do that, let's first speak about the art of brewing coffee or making coffee using an espresso machine. Most times we have baristas come on the show and they're talking about things, but when you go deep down, you realize that they're just gambling. Can you give us like, what does it take to have a good cup of coffee using an espresso machine?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So literally, it's all about extraction. That's the drama. It starts from there. Extraction. So you need a set of few things, because in brewing or in coffee extraction, you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you need a scale to measure the amount of coffee you're putting in. That's dosing, yeah?
Yeah, dosing.
Yeah, then you need also a timer. You have to calculate. You
And
have to
this
know
is
the
on a
time.
professional part of...
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, let me first go back years before. Here in Uganda, we don't have these sets. You just wake up in the morning, start the machine, grinder, pour coffee, ta 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 ta. You don't know what you're doing. You tamp, then you go. Now the challenge came my first day in UAE. It was a challenge.
We're getting to that. Your
I'm
experience in
skipping the
UAE.
part. All right, then let's go first back to the topic.
Yeah.
So you need the scale, as I told you. You need the timer. Then you're good to go.
Scale, timer.
Yeah.
And you're good to go.
Yeah. Of course, with them, even a cup. Yeah. And then the whole setup. But these two things are very important.
What does it take like to have because we've gotten all those sets, timer, the grinder, the cup, and the scale. So what does it take for me to use these things to get a good cup of coffee?
It just needs your presence.
Man, I can be present and things that I'm making, you know,
No.
vague.
Coffee, it's all about time and what you put in. So when I talk about your presence, it means you have to be there and you have to look at every step. You mean, I think you get me.
Yeah, I get it. Like literally you're saying, me being physically present is not only enough.
Yeah.
I have to be there mentally and physically.
Exactly.
So that I know maybe if I do this, the repercussion is this, right?
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
So Saddam, you know, what I admire about you is that whenever you're trying to make anything like a beverage, you give it 100%. Yeah? So briefly take us through espresso worlds, like to have, because espresso is the mother beverage of all these
it's
beverages.
about foundation.
Since we're talking about the espresso machine.
Yeah.
So how do I get that good espresso cup?
All right. After having those what I've told you, then you have to grind your coffee. You put on the scale, you tear. But you need to start with some amount of coffee you're dosing. Remember, we are dealing with specialty. So you need at least to start from a higher dose of 20. It's not very high, but it's normal. 20, you dose with 20. Then you have to know the energy you're putting on there. Because before you extract, you need to lock some parameters. So if you say you're using a dose of 20, it should be 20. And before you change it to maybe 18 or 19 grams of coffee you're putting in the basket, you need to first note. You need to first note whatever you're doing. So if it was 20 in the first place, you have to note down it's 20. What I've skipped, you need also a pen and a paper. If not, a notebook.
What? Pen and paper on station?
Pen and paper on station.
Give it to me.
It's called consistency. You have to.
You just started
pen
getting
and
amazing, eh?
Yeah.
Pen and paper on station.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah, remember we are dealing with mind, so you might forget.
And I note down everything.
Yeah, so it's better you note down. So if it was 20, I'll start with 20.
Okay.
Then you dose it, you extract, you test your coffee. If you find it not that much good, so you have to change something.
Okay.
But you have to first check on your recordings, where did I go wrong?
Where you noted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it will be, actually it will be even very easier for you to know where you went wrong and you fix it within a matter of time. Sometimes the grind setting, it could be right, but the pressure you have used, maybe it's hard. So you have to reduce it to a lighter one or a medium energy.
And you have a good cup of espresso.
Of course.
Well, I told you guys we're having the art of making coffee right here, and Saddam is here giving us the nits and gritties of making a good cup of coffee. Saddam, let's talk about baristas in Uganda. What do you think that Ugandan baristas are lacking? Because I'm sure you've gone through various stations, especially in Uganda. What do you think that they're lacking to be good baristas?
I think they are not lacking, but the industry is not supporting them.
Have they done what's enough to have an effect on the industry, or to have pressure from the industry to support them?
That question goes back to you now. You're on the ground.
I'm on the ground, but
you're on the
ground.
But in my own terms, I would say the industry. Yeah. First of all, a barista is a person who works for a company.
Yeah.
Right? And most companies, they don't have the required instruments. You understand? So if a company can support, it can provide the necessary instruments, a barista will be on this standard.
But Saddam, have you heard about the saying, a bad workman blames his tools?
Yeah, but not in Uganda.
Okay, I may have instruments, equipments that are not that good, but am I using these instruments to at least say, okay, Ngombe Gamat ageze zako, he has tried.
Yeah.
Are we there? Are Ugandan baristas there? Or they're just, okay, I know how to make this, but am I making it right? To your experience, you're not sure?
I'm not sure, but anyway, I haven't yet visited most of the coffee shops around. Yeah, I've been in the villages.
The villages,
and
since
some
it's your
coffee farms,
holiday.
yeah. So maybe I'll give them a tour around. Yeah. But if you're a barista and you don't use the tools around you to make a good coffee, we should blame you, right?
Then you're a bad barista.
Yeah, bad barista. In fact, you're a coffee maker, not a barista. We call them coffee makers.
What's the difference between a barista and a coffee maker?
A barista is someone who is professionally, how can I say, he's professional in doing whatever he's doing. So he will love a cup of coffee, so he'll give it 100% of his shot.
Yeah.
But a coffee maker, just get coffee, drink,
and serve it.
He doesn't care. So a coffee maker doesn't have that caring part. But a barista, you have the passion. So I think you have the point now.
Well, guys, I think you get to know now what's the difference between a barista and a coffee maker. So let us know on the show you've watched, all the episodes of the Coffee Break, who's been the coffee maker and who is a barista. Use the hashtag the Coffee Break Show. Saddam, let's talk about your experience in UAE. How was it like to transition from Uganda to UAE?
You mean the journey or the
like the experience to adjust,
It wasn't that much hard because before I joined at UAE, I used to work with Calvin.
Your mentor?
Actually, I first used to work with Calvin, then yes, my mentor, then a barista, Saint Alvin. That guy is nice.
Big up, Saint Alvin.
Big up guy. So when we used to work together, we used to read different articles concerning coffee. I remember you remember?
Yeah, I do remember. You know, we're family here, so whatever he's talking about is like I'm envisioning it here and I'm seeing it how it was. But for you guys, for the benefit of you guys, at least we are storytelling this so that you get to know the experience that Saddam has gone through and what has been his best moments in transitioning from Uganda to this. So after this short commercial break, we are going to be starting from right there to get to know how Saddam transitioned from Uganda and what was his experience in UAE. But also in this segment that's coming right up, we're going to be brewing our coffee and Saddam will be giving us all the details on how best we can brew this coffee. So don't you go away, we shall be right back.
Coffee industry is very wide, it's very big, it's very full of opportunities. Don't sit there and say, I have nothing to do. You can join the industry. You can get whatever you want. If you give it time, invest in it. By giving it time, don't look for money, don't look for big salary at first. First learn. After learning, you'll get how much amount you need. In coffee industry, there's no like, barista should get this amount of money. No, it depends on your knowledge. What you know is what you get. You cannot be like having junior experience and asking for experienced one. No. You can join now. Good thing, everything is simple. It's easy. Don't sit there and say, oh no, I'm scared to join this. No, it's very simple. You can make. Yeah, it's very simple. It's not so difficult. Simple, very simple. Very enjoyable. You can do everything when you're enjoying. You can do your coffee. You can serve your customers. Coffee create friendship. Coffee gives you a job. Even if you are not working in a cafe, maybe you can go in different field, but still in coffee industry. Yes.
Let's put up the camera.
You're still watching the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent TV, and welcome back from that short commercial break. My name is Amon Mukisa, right here on the Coffee Break Show. Well, I need to remind you guys that you need to go on our social media platforms. That's Twitter as HTV1UG, and follow us. You get to see the good content, good videos, good episodes that we put up for you out there. And also Facebook, you can go down there, and YouTube as House of Talent Uganda. You know, this show is watched by a quite number of people, and just read through your comments. I have Mbonye Bright Richards is saying, please Saddam, give us all the best that we can, because we're anticipating for the best brewing tutorial. That's Mbonye Bright Richards. But also Rosie Jones is here saying, go my brother, I can't wait to see your tutorial. And Adola Isaac says, nice show my brother Saddam, I can't wait to see also the tutorial. And there is what's his name, this is a funny name, Maureen K. Okay, it's not funny. There is, I can read it. Monica says, I don't know Saddam from where he started to brew coffee and where is he right now. So basically, she wants the profile. Saddam, we had skipped that.
Okay.
Where did you start from, like, to grow coffee before? I mean, to join the coffee industry, like before you joined Enduro Coffee.
All right.
Like, where did you go to school, or you just came out of the blue and you were inspired by Calvin?
No. Of course, I went to school.
Which school was that?
My primary.
The primary side of it, and then the coffee school part of it.
Anyway, I started in Entebbe, but I'm a born of Mbale.
Mbale.
Yeah, so.
Bulai.
They say Mulembe. Mulembe, Makoa, Malai. Okay. But I'm not a Mugiso. Okay. So I'm in Uganda by birth. Yeah, so I grew up in Entebbe. Yeah, I was raised by a single mother, and at the age of around 10, I crossed to Mbali, and I used to stay with my grandmother after the death of our father. So the two parents, I know two actually, my mother, then my grandfather. Sorry, my grandmother. They're the one who raised me. So I joined there, my senior one, in there is a school, it's called Manafa High. It's in the middle of the city. So, yeah.
In the middle of the city of Mbale?
The middle of, yeah.
So you're the pioneer, the celeb in Mbale? Because it's in the city?
No, I'm a quiet guy. I wasn't the celeb, but I had my little profile around, yeah. So, I didn't do higher education, so I ended in senior 4. I tried to go to senior 5, but you know, school fees issues, so I had to branch somewhere.
Let's talk about you going to Mbale at the age of 10. What were they growing coffee, like your grandma and mother? Were they growing coffee? Because Mbale is known also for growing coffee that side.
No, actually, no, we didn't. Yeah.
So at the age of 10, 15, you never knew about coffee?
No, I knew about coffee, that's coffee, but I didn't care what's coffee. For me, before I was a tea drinker. Okay. Every day, even if there is no sugar in the tea, I'll take it because I love tea. Okay. Understand? So at the age of 20.
After senior 4?
Yes, after senior 4. I started to look around what I can do. Yeah. So in my vacation of senior 4, I first went to, there is a place there in Kampala. They do furnitures, you know. It's called, it's in Wise actually. So I started to gamble around for 3 months, but I knew there was no future here.
You didn't feel that thing?
I didn't feel the vibe. Yeah. So not cheetah, you understand, not cheetah. So I went back to Mbale. I was stuck somewhere, you know. I was in the middle. I didn't know what to do. Yeah, I slept from morning until evening, waking up, looking for what to do. Nothing. Then there was this lady. She's a friend of Madame Gloria. She's called forgotten. Maggie.
Maggie.
Yeah, Mrs. Maggie.
Maggie is Gloria is the CEO of Endiro, so they are friends. Eh?
Yeah, they are friends. Maggie, she's working with Jenga projects in Mbale. She's the vice president there. So she was my neighbor. So one day she came to me like, Saddam, the year is ending. We have to plan for the next year. What's your plan? So like, wait, what are you talking about? Do I have to have a plan for the next year? I asked her. So she told me, yes, you're a man, you have to think ahead. So I told him, but I don't have a job. Like, do you want to work? Like, yes, anything. Do for me a CV. So here was another drama. I didn't know how to do a CV. I'm being honest. So she told me, you have to, I'll not help you. Like, okay, so I went to Google. I did some little research. I did one, I gave her.
You wrote a CV.
Yes. So the following morning, she told me, are you ready for the interview? Like, do I have one? Like, yes. So I asked her in the interview, what they ask? Like, you go and figure it out, you're a man. Like, okay. So yeah, at that moment I knew naino kubeera omusajja singa ebyabagisumba kusala mbalo. No, it was another topic of life, you know. So I went, Madame Gloria, she invited me over, so she sat me down.
How do you get, okay, Maggie knew Gloria, but how do you, okay, when you wrote the CV, you sent it to Gloria?
No, to Madame Maggie.
To Aggie?
Maggie. Yeah, so she gave it to Madame Gloria. So they called me over for the interview. By then there were three people. Let me say, Madame Gloria. Then there was this white lady. By then she was a manager in Endiro Mbale. And then there was also another lady. She was called Madame Penina. All of these two, I think they left. The white lady, then Madame Penina. So yeah.
What was the reaction when you got a call? Because you had suffered from going to the furniture store and then went back to the ginger growing in Mbale, and now you get a call, you're coming in the city. What was the feeling like to know that you're coming back in the city and you have a good job you're going to get?
Actually, I didn't know that I was coming in the city.
You thought you're going to work from that side? Eh?
Yeah, and I did for some few months. So I was given a chance to work as a cleaner. They asked me, are you willing to work? To start immediately or tomorrow? Like, I can start now. I was so eager. Yes, I wanted to work, you know. Yeah, so my first day they showed me around, so I started to clean. Then Calvin saw me and he liked me. I think that was the chance also to get
to the coffee section.
Yes, so he liked me. So I started to do my fully paid job as a cleaner, but I could spare some time to learn. So he started to teach me slowly by slowly. I remember he had exams, so this was my chance to prove the company that I can do. So they wanted to bring a guy from the city to take over his position since he had some exams. Yeah, but I told him, no, I can handle.
Confidence.
Yes, I had the confidence. I was a good teacher.
That's like after how long of you training? Like
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Underground training.
Underground training. But 3 months is quite a good time for you, like to train hands-on. It was a good time for you, I think, to adjust. To come out and say, I'm confident I can do this, right?
Yeah.
So after you giving you the mantle to do coffee, because you said there are coffee makers and baristas, for you to become a barista, how did you feel? How did you receive that?
The first day on the duty, I was so nervous. I could shake. I could shake that.
What was your experience like? What unique moment do you remember? What you did, like, and you're like, whenever you remember about it, you laugh. Did I do this?
Yeah, I remember. They asked for a mocha. I gave them I gave them a latte. Then there was this lady. She was called, who I've forgotten. She came shouting, "Sit down, sit down."
Because she was the manager.
No,
Or
she was
the
a waiter.
client, a waiter.
Yeah, she was a waiter. Like, no, Emoka, like, no. So she started to teach me. But I knew, but it's just, I was nervous, you know? I was nervous since it was my first time to take over a station. Yeah. Now like, okay, teach me. Like, okay, you put this after putting the chocolate, you should extract the espresso, mix it together, then steam the milk and pour the latte. Like, just like that. I knew what to do, but I wasn't thinking.
Because you were nervous.
Yes.
Well, guys, that's one thing, by the way. If you become successful, especially as a youth in this world, one thing you have to do is be confident of yourself. Because the moment you're not confident, everything will bypass you. But also, like, not undermine things. Because you see how Saddam came as a cleaner. He didn't mind about cleaning, but he knew what he wanted. He wanted to work. He had that zeal. So he ended up like going to the coffee section from being a cleaner. Now he's the big guy here doing coffee.
Exactly.
Quite a story, man.
Yeah. So it's all about the confidence and being humble.
Being humble.
Yeah. These two things pushed me. Yeah.
Okay. Let's first speak. You have become a barista now, and how long did you do it before you decided to go to UAE? In Uganda.
I went in UAE in...
No, like, how long did you be a barista in Uganda?
For 2 years and 8 months, let me say.
2 years and 8 months?
Yeah.
And you have all this knowledge. I've had guys come here.
Before I went to UAE, this is the experience I had in Uganda. So now I'm having experience of 5 to 6 years.
5 to 6 years
in the industry.
You have all this information, you're confident.
Yeah.
We've had guys be in coffee like for 10 years, but they literally can't even explain what a coffee bean is. What are you doing that's unique for you to know all these things?
Of course, every day you have to do some little articles. You know, coffee is growing, so there is new ideas. So if you don't do any research and sit and relax, of course you stay there. So you have to look for it. Yeah, people pay a lot of money to have this information. I have a friend of mine is a trainer in Dubai. Yeah, he's having a
training school.
Yes, a training school. So he told me he invested himself approximately to 60 Ugandan million. He had to put in himself
in Dubai.
Yeah.
To train. 60 million.
Yeah, 60 million.
That's quite expensive, man.
That's what he told me. And I believe, because one day I wanted to upgrade. So roughly I used 3.5. Yes, a course of let me say 6 hours. It costed me 3
point something million.
Yeah.
So guys, if you want to join the coffee industry, you say what you need to like invest. It's not just a matter of like coming out and you become a coffee maker. You need to invest so that you can become a barista, right, Saddam?
Yes, a professional barista.
A professional barista. Don't get the
kakalala. Actually, no, those are all stages. In the first place, kola coffee. Gamba kanko, novela coffee maker.
Novela coffee maker.
Yeah, but because of passion, pushing harder, then you become a barista, you know. So from being a barista, there is also a pro
barista.
Yeah, professional barista. So you have to, invest in yourself more, then you upgrade.
Well, you spoke about farms in Uganda, because I was asking you about like what experience have you had in coffee bars that you've visited, but you've been so much in farms. How do you find the farming practices deep down in our farms? Are they giving us good coffee, or they're doing bad practicing methods for farming?
No, they are doing amazing job.
Amazing job.
Yeah. Before I went to UAE, I visited some farms. So in the first place, what I saw, I wasn't happy. But when I went back the second time, I was really happy. The way they take care of their crops, the processing ways, the way they put in on the African beds, you know.
Raised beds.
Yeah. Back then they just used to sweep on the ground to make sure the ground is clean. Just remove the leaves, little sticks, cow's shit, you know.
Yeah.
Then they pour the coffee. This time around, I was so happy. They made their beds, so they put coffee on top. Under some hours, then they take it off. For example, they know what they are doing, you know. But back then, Charlie Chalanyo. Yeah, one day I got a goat lying in coffee beans. I was like, what? You never get to tour. This is not good. But now there is a lot of changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what were you looking for in the farms as you went to deep down to the farms?
I have a friend now. He's a producer. It's called Semakula Derek. Yeah, he's working with Chanzo Farm, washing station. So I went to CP Falls.
Okay.
Yeah. So they are doing their production that side.
So you had literally gone to see what's happening deep down there.
Yes, what's happening.
Okay.
So we went. We did the harvest together, and I was so happy with the team which I worked with. They knew what they were doing, so they could look only for the ripe cherry. Ripe, they could select the ripe one. In case they pick the green one, they have somewhere where they used to go and sort it from.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was part of it, interacting with the children, and what surprised me, I got a six-year-old kid. He's not in school. He's selecting beans, but he does know what he's doing. Was picking only the red one. If he sees a leaf, he could pick it out and throw. He knows that it's bad. So that information really made me happy.
Wow.
Which means whatever they are doing,
it's
on point. Yeah.
Maybe before we go for a break, I want to tap your idea on who is the most important person in the coffee chain. Is it the farmer? Actually, among these two people, is it the farmer or the barista?
That's a tricky one. But in my own words, I would say all of us.
No,
boss, all of us. I'll tell you, all of us.
Hey.
I speak for the coffee,
Okay.
not the farmer.
Yeah.
Okay? But if a farmer does a shit job, I cannot represent it.
But if a farmer does bad coffee and he brings it on my station, I can do whatever whatever it takes at least to have good coffee out of it. No, it can't. But if a farmer produces good coffee and I make it bad, it will be bad coffee.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go for
No.
We shall continue this conversation later.
Boss. We are all accountable. So for me, I'll stick on my 2 points.
We're all important.
Important, yes.
Well, guys, who is the most important person in the coffee chain? Go dive down on our social media platforms, Twitter at HTV1UG, and tell us who is most important in the coffee chain. The coffee break, we'll be right back.
Okay.
You have to know each equipment. You have to know the brew ratio. Actually, brew ratio is I
very
think,
important.
the most important. Brew ratio now most people may not understand. It is the ratio of the coffee powder to water, and the yield. Water in this article will bring us into the yield. If I put 10 grams of coffee into my portafilter, how much of it am I exactly? So if you don't master the brew ratio, oh, everything's going to turn out a mess. You understand? Even if you know that knowledge and you don't master the brew ratio.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. You're still watching House of Talent Television, and this is the coffee break with me, Amon Mukisa. And my guest today is Saddam Muchibi, a former senior barrister with Enduro Coffee, and now a head barrister with
Algawa Arabia.
Algawa Arabia. That one was confusing me.
Algawa. You should feel it here.
I should feel it here. Algawa.
Yes.
Is that right?
Gawa means coffee, actually. Means coffee.
It means coffee in Arabic.
In Arabic, yeah. In Arabic side.
Gawa.
Gahawa.
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 You know how to speak Arabic, huh?
Nah. No. It's not any easy language, bro. Yeah. But so, of course I know little words, yeah.
So before we went to break, we were talking about like who is the most important person in the coffee chain. And behind the camera, of the camera, we were having a conversation of the fact that we talking about the chain, and now we are bringing out only two people, which means no longer chain. Okay, so now Saddam, who is the most important person in the coffee chain with all the people involved in the chain? So that's now a complete chain.
Aye, boss. Everyone is important. I'll not say these people they do they put less effort. No, everyone in the chain puts 100%. Yeah, so still I'll stick on my answer, everyone.
Okay.
Everyone is important.
Everyone is important.
I cannot have coffee without a farmer. I cannot have a coffee without a roaster. I cannot have a coffee without a producer. So they are all important, and we appreciate their work.
They are all important. So Saddam, let's go into our tutorial for today's show. What are we going to do today? I see various equipments here.
Yeah. So you're going to have a V60. Yeah, a V60. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So a V60, what's it made of? Like, how was it, or how does it work?
A V60, it's a filter coffee. Yeah. It's a filter coffee. You do it manually. It's not like an espresso whereby it's a machine. You know, you craft it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are going to craft 1 cup for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 cups for us, you know.
2 cups?
Hey.
All right.
Okay.
No problem.
So
2 cups then.
The floor is yours. Give us the tutorial.
See, I'll do one. Then you also do one.
I also do one.
Yeah.
Okay. We have all the time.
You have the time? Cool.
Yeah.
So I'll show you the way we do it. See how I'm folding the folder. Sorry, the paper filter. It should be like this. You lock it down at the tip.
Wow.
Good to go. But before you start the brew, you have to make sure that it's wet. And you should put enough water. So I use approximately 100 to 200 ml of water.
Is a kettle of water. I think you can add in some little water.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Just help me. We decided to keep our water here just to keep the temperature.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I like the way you folded the paper filter and threw it over there. I wish we had it in a slow motion. It would really look nice, eh? As you can see the paper filter, and I love the color. Like when you see the color of our paper bag, the cover.
Yeah.
When you see the color of our paper bag and the color of the filter, something that looks nice when you're making coffee. Eh?
Yeah.
Those are the coffee colors. Eh?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to wet our paper filter.
So here I start.
Okay. There you go. I don't know if you guys can hear the sound of the dripping water into the decanter. Oh God. So why is it that you have to like wet it fully like this instead of like just pouring water, and the moment you see that it's wet, I pour out the water? I see you've taken over like 30 seconds while wetting the paper filter.
I should wash it, you know. These papers, they trap dust, and it has its own smell. That peppery taste, you have to kick it out. Yeah. So, can I use it here?
Sure, no worries. You can use. We have all the equipment on the coffee break
I
show.
see.
Yeah.
Even the decanter, you have to
wash it fully. Yeah. Nice.
Good to go.
So this process took like 1 minute.
Yeah, you have to take your time. Time.
Time
is everything, my brother.
Sibya kupapa.
Okay. Coffee on papira.
Yeah. So you have your coffee ready.
Yeah.
Which grain size do we have to use specifically?
Medium coarse.
Medium coarse.
Yeah, medium coarse.
Okay.
Let me just keep it here. Medium coarse.
For the V60. Let me ask, does the V60 use the same grain size as the Quimula Pour-Over, the Clever Dripper, Chemix? Those are 3 equipment so far.
Yeah.
And the AeroPress. Do they use the same grain size?
No. For the Clever Drip, V60 Clever Dripper, then you said which one else? Chemix. No. So V60 Clever Dripper, you can use the same grain size.
Okay.
Yeah, but for the Chemix, you need something more coarser.
More coarser.
Yeah.
All right.
So you go like 2 clips. Yeah. If you use maybe like a 20 clip, then for the Chemix, you should use maybe 23 to 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it has tiny walls.
Okay. So what next?
So I'm going to dose the coffee, and I'm going to use 20, and I'll use the ratio of 1 to 15.
1 to 15.
Yeah.
How do you guys count ratios?
I wish I can do it with you here. I can show you. So
that's the good thing about the coffee break, because everything is practical right here. So our cameraman will zoom in this as Saddam is doing it, so that he shows you how you count ratios, especially when you're like at home. You need to use you need to use this method to show that, or to get ratios of how you can get a good cup of coffee. So Saddam, how do you count ratios?
Okay, so since we are going to use a ratio of, as I told you, it will be 1 to 15, right? So, and the dose is 20.
Why did you put a 0 point something?
0, it represents a number.
Okay.
It cannot show 1, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it cannot show 1. If you say point, how did I say? Anyway, let's first skip it.
Okay.
So, as I told you, we are using 20 grams of coffee. So, a 20 grams of coffee, it will be represented by 300 ml of water.
Is it a standard?
It's the standard.
20 grams have to represent 300 ml of water?
No, it's not like that. But we use ratios.
Okay.
So the first ratio we start with is 15.
Okay.
There is 15, 1 to 15. There is 1 to 16, 1 to 17. These all ratios, they will produce different tests. Tests.
So I can't use a ratio of 2 to 15?
No.
It's not there in coffee?
It's not there.
Wow. Okay.
Not there.
Show us how we can count.
If you use a 12, you will extract something which is underdeveloped. It will be bitter. It will be harsh.
It won't taste good, literally.
Yeah. You will not enjoy your coffee.
Okay.
So in order for you to enjoy the coffee, you need these standards, you need 15 and above.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see how we can get our ratios right here.
So you put the 300 as I told you. 20 to go into the 300. So you divide it by 20.
As you can
it
see,
will give 15. This 15 represents 1 gram of water, 1 gram of coffee, which means if you put 1 gram of coffee inside the chamber, you should put 15 grams of coffee. 15 grams of water. Yeah. So in coffee, we shouldn't use ml. we go into grams because there is some particles and solubles. It's a mixture. That's why I use grams. 15 grams, not ml. So you divide the 15, as I told that 15 represent 1 gram. So you can divide the 15 by 20. Sorry, it's 15 by 20, giving you 15. The same thing if you brew this ratio and you find it very strong for you, you can use maybe 16.5, 17, up to you.
All right.
Yeah, so I will just do the 16 by 20.
Gives you 320. Hope you guys saw how it is done right on TV.
Yeah.
So in case you're at home, please do this and you get the ratios on how you want your coffee to taste. So let's go sit down and make the coffee.
So I'll dose it.
Coffee has to be fresh, yeah?
Yeah, it has to be fresh, or is fresh.
Yeah.
Not fresh of one day, no. Should be a fresh of at least 2 weeks. That's 14 days, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is 23, but we said you should use 20.
20 grams.
20 grams, yeah. One thing about coffee, it will teach you how to be consistent in life.
That's what you talked about at the beginning of the show. You have to be with a notebook and pen, so that you note down these things for consistency.
And after removing the amount of coffee you want, you should make sure you tighten so that it will keep the freshness.
Hope you guys know how to tighten these bags, because whenever you buy these bags in supermarkets, coffee shops, you need to know how to seal it again the moment you open it up again. Okay. I like the aroma and scent that's coming out of the coffee.
Yeah.
So why stirring it like that? To create a hole?
Not a hole, but since it's a cone, I should use this.
Yeah.
Since it's a cone, the amount of coffee in the middle is more than the one which is on the side. Yeah, so you should make a little
so
bit
basically
of
it has to be like in the shape of the equipment.
Exactly.
So if my cameraman could zoom in here and see that cone, it's not flat. There is a cone like the way how this equipment or the way this V60 is made. So that's why there is this shape right here. Okay.
So let me first add more water.
Nice. So there is no there's nothing like, okay, it has to be flat so that I can get a flat bed.
Yeah. Anyway, you can keep it flat if you wish, but I prefer it this way.
This way?
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is Free Knowledge live on TV, and this is what the coffee break does for you to understand how to brew coffee. Okay?
Yeah.
I like the way you handle everything gently. I think this is the way how this cup of coffee is going to come out, like in terms of taste.
Of course.
Yeah. So there you're tearing?
Yeah. I have to put it on 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have to measure the amount of water. Yeah, in case if I forgot to tear it, it will give me different results. I may end up putting less water or more water.
Okay.
So it's always good to put it at 0, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I'm going to start. Before you start, you have to start that time. So you should start at the same time. So I'll first put 50 ml of water. Sorry.
My colleague Emma always says whenever they are pouring it like that, he asks himself every time whenever he sees a barista doing that, why do baristas like pour in a swirling or rotational mode?
Yeah.
Why?
The V60 cone, it's made of some narrow, how can I say it? There is some design.
The ridges.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it pulls the water in a certain direction. So if I say to pour in a different way, it may affect my cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this is the second pour.
So there are times you pour like You need to pour 4 times, 3 times, 2 times.
Yeah. But all it will depend on what you are looking at.
So that crema, that dark brown crema that's coming on top, does it represent that coffee is really, really fresh, or it's just because the way you're pouring it?
Sometimes, yeah, it does.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that coffee is fresh?
Yeah, no. Yeah, actually, it doesn't mean that the coffee is fresh, but it represents a good coffee also.
So I had a conversation with some guys some time back, and we were arguing about that. Like the moment you have your coffee brewing, you don't have to stir, you just have to let it coffee drip into the cup or the decanter. Why did you stir for the coffee in a P60?
Now, in coffee extraction, there is a lot of things which we should all understand. What you're looking at, that will be one of your main reasons why you're doing it. So for me, I'm doing it to increase my extraction levels. Yeah. Secondly, to make sure that every ground it will be hit by water, it will hit the water.
Every ground will be hit by the water. During the blooming process, the first pour, if you bring in this ground to be mixed with water at this point where you start in, won't it affect the cup of the taste of the cup of coffee, because it didn't mix with water at first and didn't maybe like take away the astringent flavors at first? Won't it like affect the cup of coffee, because now when you stir it, it's going to mix with the other beans or with the other grounds that have been immersed or infused with coffee?
No, it will not affect.
It won't?
Yeah, it won't.
So you mean like one particle of coffee doesn't affect a cup of coffee?
It does. Yeah, it does. But in extraction, in brewing,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah.
So, and we're done?
Yeah, we are done. Very simple.
Guys, look at how the coffee
So our
looks
extraction
like in a
our
glass.
time is 3 minutes.
3 minutes
of extraction,
and you're done with your nice cup of coffee.
Of course,
I like the lighter bit of it. It's not something that looks like it's strong.
Yeah.
And something that you can drink over and over and over and over again. So we get our cups right here. You guys, I can't wait. Very nice. I can't wait to have this cup of coffee right here on a coffee break made by barista Saddam Muchiwi, who is a former barista at Enduro Coffee, but also is head barista of Ali Kahawa. It's something he got me to.
I'll teach you how to say it.
Let me have my toes and nice. That's enough for me.
All right.
The rest is yours. So I'm gonna have my cup of coffee right here, and I'll be the judge from this cup of coffee.
Let me first wait for you.
Wow. Wow.
How is it?
This is a very well balanced cup of coffee. In terms of taste, in terms of smoothness, in terms of acidity, everything is balanced. And the aftertaste is too sweet. Very, very sweet. Well guys, this is a tutorial of the V60 that you could make at home. If you want these equipments right here, go on our social media platforms in the comment section. Let us know the equipment you want, and the House of Talent will help you connect you to the people or will get you these equipments. So this is the coffee break, and Saddam, as we finalize the show, or we get towards the end of the show, let's talk about women in coffee. Just briefly, how can we get a number of women in the coffee industry?
Basing on where I've been working from, now the ladies are in more the industry. If you look at the, excuse me, if you look at the competition which held in Dubai, the top players are all ladies, the judges, the winners. Even the barista champion, she's a lady.
She's a lady.
Yeah. Maybe here in Uganda we need to to educate them.
In terms of coffee brewing or educate them
Everything.
in school?
No, in coffee, in the industry, we should show them the way. We should encourage them. We should actually teaching them. Once you teach someone, I think you will end up loving it. You teach, you follow up, and results is love in the coffee. Yeah.
It's love in the coffee. Why aren't we having barista champions from Uganda? You spoke about the barista champions who are in Dubai are ladies, most of them. So why aren't we having? It's because maybe we're not educating them?
No.
Or it's because we're not initiative enough to be competitive?
We are educating them, but as you know, some ladies, if you take coffee, it will affect your...
Yeah, the mean.
I think you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's scaring them off. But on the other side, the ladies are on top.
They don't care about this.
My former barista, she's a lady.
Your head barista?
My former head barista. Yeah, before I took, she was the one in charge. So I was second in command of her. Imagine. Not her only. There is another company, 3 or 4. The head baristas, they are ladies. You know this company called Espresso Lab. The former head barista, she's a lady. Yeah.
But would you say that also like the pay in Uganda in terms of salary is affecting the ladies' involvement in the coffee industry? You know, men as like, if you're not getting enough on the job, at least people in Uganda call it kuiriba. You know, they will do that. But ladies, when they ladies will be in a specific job full time, and what they get is what they get. Do you think that's also affecting like ladies getting involved in the coffee industry?
About payments in Uganda, I'm not so sure, but it could be. It could be. It could be. So maybe they should do something about it.
Who should do something about it?
UCDA.
UCDA.
They should put standards on baristas. Yeah. What I know that here in Uganda, baristas are being cheated. Honestly, they are being cheated. So, Madam, she's called Madam.
Say her name.
Madam. I've even forgotten. But
she's which Madam are you trying to? In UCDA?
The lady in UCDA.
You're talking about Claire?
Claire, Madam Claire should do something. They should sit down. They should put standards on baristas. One day, I have a friend. He's working in Mbale. He told me they pay him only 300.
300.
But he's a barista.
For man.
Yeah, it's not enough even to pay for the rent. So maybe they should do something.
This message is coming, please. This message is coming direct from Saddam to Madame Claire on UCDA, to UCDA.
Yeah, to the board.
To the board.
To the board. UCDA, please do something. Do something, yeah. Our baristas are being cheated. That's why most of the baristas are running outside.
Yeah.
They hear in Dubai they are paying at least good salary. I should go to Dubai.
Okay.
But if they pay us well, I think we should bring all this energy to our industry and we make it on the map.
Well, as House of Talent TV, we're definitely cutting out this segment and we're sending it to Madame Claire and the board at UCDA. Saddam says, please do something on the standard wage of baristas so that we can have the top cream, the cream in Uganda. So that maybe at a certain point we shall have a champion, world champion barista from Uganda. Sure. Because at the beginning of the show, I talked about the fact that Martin Shabaya said that he uses Ugandan coffee to compete in all the competitions that he has been in.
I knew.
He's been using Ugandan coffee.
I knew it.
You knew?
I knew it. I went to CP. I got some motorcycles from Kenya. I asked the guy, why are you taking this coffee? Like, I'm taking it to Kenya. But it's in CP.
And then they will brand
CP, it's Uganda. They will be branding it
as Kenyan coffee.
Yeah.
Wow. So guys, we're heading towards the end of the show, and Saddam, what last words do you have for the viewers out there and Coffee Break viewers out there, plus the world at large?
I'll conclude by saying to Uganda baristas, guys, you should do enough research and don't give up. Don't give up in anything you're doing in terms of coffee, even the personal lives. Dream higher, you get whatever you need. Then still on our board, UCDA, please, on the other point which Mr. Arnold Amon said, please think about it. Yeah, think about it and continue supporting our industry. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Saddam, for those nice words. Well, guys, I would like to make a shout out to the guys who have been watching the show. Gad Rogers from Twitter has been watching the show. Eddie Pages on Twitter has been watching the show. And Pinky has also been grilled on the show. So, guys, we're just at the early stages of the start of the year 2022. What I need to tell you is, find something that you can do best and concentrate on that. If it's coffee, go deep down in coffee. Give it all your life. Give it all the passion that you're supposed to put into the coffee industry. Because you see this cup right here, it can bring you things that you can never even imagine that you'll get in a short period of time. I'm not saying that it's something that you're going to do and right away in 2 days or 3 days you get something out of it in terms of money, in terms of skill, in terms of value. You need to invest time. Anything worth investing time, please, you should go for it. And for this time round, as a coffee break show, we're telling you, please invest time in coffee. Because coffee is well paying. Coffee is a skill that you won't get away. You train grandchildren and daughters and sons, nephews, and you'll be training them to make a good cup of coffee. It will only help you also to make coffee that will bring in money into your pocket, but also to help you to make a good cup of coffee for your own benefit in terms of health, in terms of physical and mentally. Okay, so guys, invest your time in coffee. As a coffee break show, from me, Diallo on the camera, the producer of the show, that's Emma, and as House of Talent at large, we say have a beautiful 2022.
You see, I think there's been a lot of growth and transformation. I appreciate the work National IT Authority is doing, and also, of course, they come up with policies that people are supposed to comply with. You know, when it comes to IT, with cyber security, like I said, we have a layer of compliance and governance, whereby government will come up with policies and say, okay, we need you, each and every person should have at least a basic thing, which is antivirus on their devices. Because at the national level, they have what we call cyber threat intelligence, whereby I think UCC has a solution. Because I remember I was involved in that tender for procurement of a cyber threat intelligence solution, whereby we could be able to identify this is the new attack, it's coming from Russia, it's attacking our bank here, then they could be able to block that traffic at a national level. Well, the government is doing something. But then also, as individuals, like I said, we need to also be vigilant. Because the government will not be able to understand which new VPN client has come up, or which new VPN solution has come up, probably because they will not know. But for you, go ahead and download it and install it on your device. And then you trust transacting. You actually go to, then you say, oh, I was stolen money from my account. Oh, my information was stolen. Oh, I see notes on social media. People steal notes from people's devices, and actually they ask for a pay. Someone says, if you don't give me $100,000, I'm going to publish your nonsense on the cyberspace. You know, so people need to be vigilant. But of course, the government is also doing something.
That's when I started learning that, this is how coffee is. But why is it that we produce coffee here and just sell it when we don't take it here, we don't consume it here? So one time, when I had just started my training here, I went back to Iganga. And then I went to a hotel, a very established hotel. I will not mention its name. Then I wanted to see if I have people that know about coffee in hotels, because I knew probably big hotels serve coffee. So to my dismay is that I introduced myself as a barista, and everybody was like, what's a barista? So I said, a barista is a specialist that makes coffee, a person who makes coffee for people to, coffee like, cappuccino, different kinds of, coffees, and people were like very green. I said, this is a big hotel. I expected to find here a coffee machine, and nobody knows about it. So it's, I think, incumbent of us to really transform this entire community, the entire country, to coffee, to learn about coffee, and also to give them the advantages of coffee, teach them about coffee, and then later on they maybe consume it, rather than just selling it.
Historically, furniture, woodworking has been passed on, carpentry has been passed on through apprenticeship. So that is the biggest challenge. You learn the skill, you don't get the business skill, because the teacher wants to keep their customers. But then, due to the current development, we have the technical schools teaching carpentry. They're teaching the theoretical part, but they are indulging less business. And then the business methods they indulge in are also less practical. They have been written in books. They have not been actually applied sometimes. So I think one needs to first of all learn the dynamics. Consider carpentry as a business, as a trade. And the rules of trade are the same regardless of which trade you're going in. We have standard rules that don't change. So currently, I think it is something I personally took upon myself, and in our kind of business, we do have apprentices, by the way. We do take in students. They learn, especially through the lockdown. We've had a lot of them coming in and to take on the skill. But we always give them 1 or 2 days in a month where they come into the selling desk and they get to see what it means to actually do the sale. You don't have to be on the planer all the time, on the circular saw. You need to know that after the circular saw, this customer doesn't know it exists. How do you inform them that it is the step that is going forward on their object? And then we've opened up the industrial part of pack carpentry to the customers. They're actually very thrilled when they see how these things are done.
Yeah, so you actually take them in and show them the process, like they say, process by process, process by process, how these things are going. Yeah.
It's a CEO bench, so usually people want to assume that all CEOs are over-learned and stuff like that. So I will change the script this time around. I consider myself a certified hustler.
If I'm looking to know who you are you Ugandan? If yes, what are the values that define you as Ugandan?
That's the easiest question, I think, to answer. I am a typical Lao man from Erute North, in a place called Ogur, and where I will be laid to rest is in a village called Agweng. So if you go there and you just say Otoa Tony, they won't really know me because my father is also Otoa Tony. You have to ask for Junior, and when you're asking, you have to ask with an accent. Junior Tikwene, where is Junior? And they will identify me. But I'm typically Ugandan, only Ugandan, from Lira. I pride myself from being from Lira. Earlier on, I was joking and saying I'm the coolest Lango south of Karuma. When you cross Karuma, there are so many. But when you're down in the south after Karuma, I think I'm number one.
Wow. Well, now that you know Tony Otoa is Ugandan, and of course, what are the values that define you as a Ugandan?
I think it's the love for country, love for nation. You know, truth be told, the country is in a lot of, it's a crisis. Leadership crisis, economic crisis, social crisis. There's so many mismatching areas. But at the end of the day, it's home. You know, you cannot run and abandon your home because of the issues in your home. I think that then creates an opportunity for you to do something to change what's happening and what you see as a crisis. So in terms of what I see as a value, or what I take out of that for me, I think is just the love for country, the need to serve country the best way I can. And I mean, I can't say I can change everything, but the little I can do to create a difference, I think is more meaningful.
Wow. Mr. Tony Otoa, growing up, what did you want to be in life? And what was the journey like for Mr. Otoa?
Yeah, you know, my father is crazy. My father would call us and he would show me the compass. The idea was supposed to be a pilot. You know, the planes would fly over our house and my father would be like, yeah, you're going to be a pilot. But of course, as you grow, you realize that you have so many things that really define you. I was never a sportsman. So I enjoyed a lot of debate and, you know, a lot of indoor activities. And that is, I think, what really drove me into some of the things that I do up to today. Public speaking, the love for debates and really a lot of intellectual discourse and all this stuff. But besides that, I think it's also the fact that, I won't lie, I didn't know what I wanted to be.
Believe in your skill and your potential to be a good player, because I know there were times when I didn't think I could do it and I wanted to give up, but then my dad, you know, he was there, he pushed me, he would wake me up for training in the morning. When the last day before I had, you know, shots weren't dropping. You know, you just need to have, and you need to have that self-drive, but you also need to have support. So seek for support from your parents. Don't be shy to bring up the idea of, you know, can I go for training today, or maybe can I get a basketball and be dribbling, because you need to be able to not make excuses for yourself. That's a thing that a lot of people subconsciously do. They're like, well, I don't have a court at home, so I can't do anything. But you can get a basketball and learn to dribble, you know. Then when you actually are able to access a court, you'll have a starting point, you know. And also to, you know, just if you love something, give it your all. Because I know there was a time when I played basketball, but I didn't love it, so I was just, you know, going with the flow, not really, I didn't have any sense of direction, I didn't have any goal. But when I started setting goals for myself and actively trying to reach them, that's when I actually started seeing results, like with the national team. I set that as a goal, and, you know, it paid off when I got to play, and also the Kenya camp. Because the second I came back from Cairo, you know, I was sleeping one morning, I had slept, I'd come back, it was the second day we'd been back. I hear a knock at my door, it's my dad. Get up, coach is coming in 30 minutes, be ready. You know, you have to be able to do that for yourself, or have someone who's willing to do that for you. And, you know, just look for opportunities to play. I know there's like a lot of people who can't, you know, it's not as simple as just waking up, you know, getting a driver to take you somewhere. But, you know, look around, maybe your area, there's like a place you can go for pickup. Maybe you can borrow someone's ball, you know, just if you want it enough, you'll be able to put in the work. Yeah.
First and foremost, thank you very much for hosting me. I'm really, really humbled, and I'm blessed to be here. Yeah, surely. Talking about basketball, personally, my journey of basketball started from far, very, very far. That was in high school, and in a situation whereby we did not have enough exposure. We didn't have coaches. We didn't have the facilities like we do have them right now. Although I'm saying this like there are so many years ago, there are not so many. That was about, I began knowing basketball in 2007. That was at KPC when I was in P7 vacation. That is end of 2007 actually, that KPC North. That's when I first started basketball. Then 2008 when I joined Namilyango in Senior 1. I saw people playing. Actually, the people whom I saw there playing and inspired me were Sally of, he played for Chambogo Warriors. Do you remember him?
The left-handed.
Yes. And Omongin. Omongin, last I saw him playing for City Oil. Those were the guys whom I found in Namilyango. I was in Senior 1. These guys were playing basketball at another level. And we would actually just go there to watch them. You know, for us by that time, they couldn't allow you to step on the basketball court that those guys are on, because they were senior 6s, you are a senior 1. You just the best you can do is watch. Other than that, you don't step there. But nonetheless, that's where I started. Beautifully, or I would say lucky for me, that when I was playing with those guys, once in a while when they could see me about midday 1, when the sun is very hot, when they are still resting and waiting to come,
So when we would go to court and, try a few shots here and there, and then they would come and they meet us, they would see what we are doing and, they would identify talent. I don't know if I can use that one. So, one or another, they identified my talent. They realized I could at least throw in the ball. At any sport. They would just give it to me. Although I was weak, I didn't know how to bounce. They only told me one thing, throw in the ball. And throwing in the ball gave me an opportunity to play with them. When I was in senior 1, senior 2, but still, of course, I still had people who didn't believe in me, and it was challenging.
If you look at City Oilers, I mean, we've been, champions for the last, 7 years, and I can tell you that it's because of the players that we have on the team, and I would say that we have, some of the best players in the Ugandan league, on the City Oil. So as a coach, you want to pick your best players in the country to play, and I will not say it is unfortunate that they all come from City Oil, but a lot of those players are City Oilers, and I really don't want to see it that because I'm a City Oilers coach and management is City Oilers, it's just purely on statistics, and
in summary, you're saying it's purely based on merit.
It's definitely based on merit.
Welcome to the Slam Dunk Basketball Talk on House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel Ateng. It's a lovely Saturday, another day to talk basketball, and today in the house we have two surprise guests. We have always had guys in the house, but we're going to change it up just a little bit. But remember, we are live on YouTube at House of Talent live stream Uganda, or you can catch us HTV1 on our Twitter. And to begin the show today, I have two ladies in the house, beautiful ladies. For the guys who are out there watching, I know there are guys who have been waiting for this to happen. Ladies, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Esther and Bronnie, and surprise, surprise, one of them was actually almost Miss Uganda, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Ladies, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We've had a lot of guys on the show, and it's a rare thing to have ladies come through. Yeah, so I believe the guys out there have tuned in, So so we have to live up to the hype today, for the show. Just to start off, tell us about yourselves. Okay, we'll start with you, Bronnie. I know you, but there are guys out there who want to know you more. So just tell us more about you.
My name is Kusima Bronnie Divine. Age, let me keep that. I am at Makerere University pursuing a bachelor's degree in nursing. And I'm in my year 2. Basically, that's mainly it, other than the basketball and the modeling bit and family.
So for how long have you been in year 2? Because we have to be sure, this COVID thing.
I am supposed to be a proud year 3 clinical student, but here I am.
Still
year 2.
Second year.
Yes.
Interesting, good to know you. Esther?
Esther Mirembe. I'm in second year as well. Pursuing a bachelor's degree in industrial and organizational psychology, Makerere University.
Yeah, so all of you supposed to be third years, but here we are.
Here we are.
Well, again, welcome to the show, and today we just want to talk about women's basketball in Uganda. But before we get to that, your coach was here. OJ. All of us didn't know he actually had a full name. Mr. Osito Jacob. And before you guys went for the FISU games in Kenya, he was here and he was telling us that his girls are going to win. Okay, and it's good to see that he lived up to the hype. You guys actually walked away with a bronze. You see you taking the gold for that. We just want you to walk us through the whole experience, from training at the main ground to the bus ride, all the way down to the games, and what happened there, what was the experience, how did you guys come up with the bronze instead of the gold, what were those things that, happened along the way? I'll go to you, Esther, first.
Yeah, first and foremost, I'll say we had help of our coaches from the very beginning.
Yeah.
We had so much training. We really did train because we came earlier, had a small camp, since we were home for the whole COVID thing, and we were all chilling, we were off. When it comes to, we were really off.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had training, we had a camp, we all came, all of us, the 5. We had a team selected, so they kept on choosing and choosing until the final 4 players that were to represent Makerere University. And yeah, it was to the whole thing of the traveling and all that. The university made it easy for us. They facilitated everything, actually. Yeah, we recommend them for that. It was a good ride. Even the boys team, they also had the same experience. We had different coaches coming down to help us. Even to choose the team, the coaches were there to help. So they made sure at least they would have a team that would bring something back home. Yeah, that is it. Yeah.
Bernie, do you have a different perspective on what happened?
Maybe to supplement, and just to say that this was our captain for the travel. We sadly lost Sharina because she had an injury. Yeah, but we traveled with her and we had her support all through. But I would like to just talk about the team select, the togetherness of sports. As much as they chose the 4 people, the others came every single day to train with us and help us get better, push us, and they did not play with us. Those girls were out for blood. And I'd remind you every day, like, if you do not make the basket, I'm taking your passport. So it was such a beautiful thing training with them. And I guess the journey was, because it was bus, it was a bit hectic. We were tired. We just wanted to reach. But when we got there, Makerere took very good care of us, the facilitation and everything, and I guess having that exposure to look at other teams play and what they do and learn a bit from each and every one of them and our coaches and the support system, it was a beautiful experience.
Well, it's exciting to know that Makerere took care of you, because you've had complaints about MOOC not actually taking care of its players. But I mean, if they took care of you guys this time,
I don't complain.
Well, that's a good thing then. Esther, going for the games, we had teams that represented Uganda. There was you guys, of course, Makerere University. There was the UCU. We had Ndeje coming through. Okay, and there's a particular style of basketball we play in Uganda, which I believe is kind of different from the basketball that is played by the Kenyans or the Zambians or the Senegalese. Okay, what are some of those things that you learned from the other teams going forward? Because I believe that you have a tournament 5-on-5 coming up in July next year. So what are some of those lessons that you learned from playing these other teams that will carry you forward into next year's tournaments?
Okay, those the teams that we played gave us a really good challenge from the very beginning. There was no team that came joking. That is number one. All teams came when they are looking at the gold. Whatever the case was, it was the gold that they wanted. So they came prepared. One of the things that we saw, we have teamwork, that is one. But at a point with 3-on-3, it kept on being, there was no shot clock for those games, but somehow the games were running so fast and they were using the easiest way of making the baskets. Is it the shooter on the 3-line, the 3-pointer line? They would like get the ball, dish it out there straight, not think of, okay, now set, do this and all that. It was quick reaction throughout the whole time, all teams. So one thing, it was first and foremost, it was fun. The games were fun. And also we learned different things with the different plays that we usually use in our games that our coaches gave us, even as the ones that we tried to use. We realized a few of those that they were using, tried to play it out. Because of the quick reaction, gives you it gives you game reading. So your game reading gets faster because now you know they get the ball and it is straight to the shooter and it's a 2-made already. So you have to get your head into the game. You have to be on your toes all the time because for that anything is happening at that time. No time to doze or think or anything.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that we realized, because we kept on, after every game, we kept on like sitting and talking and feeling like, okay, what are we doing for this game? You've seen what has happened in the previous game.
Yeah.
This and this and this happened. So what are we doing? Because this other team that is coming up, they play like this or they have this kind of thing. What are we doing for it?
Yeah.
So you go in that game already knowing what some of the things you're going to do, so that you fail their plays that they want to do on
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, so
basically, those are some of the things.
So it's a good scouting report, basically,
Yeah.
for what's coming up.
Yeah, so we know. We know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To Bronny, you guys walked away with the bronze,
Mhm.
okay? I know you would have loved to walk away with the gold, okay?
definitely.
It would have been actually historic for Makerere University, yeah?
Yeah.
What are some of those things that you guys as a team failed to do, okay, that didn't enable you to get to where you wanted to?
Okay, so I'm going to start with the challenges that we start with here.
All right.
Number one, we're students, so we don't have enough training time. Most of these people were playing, have been training for months. They had training camps. When we talk to the other teams,
Yeah.
they tell you, I've been training for this for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Some of us hadn't played ball for like a year.
We're
And we're
fitted.
trying to pull each other, come, let's play.
Yeah.
Because there isn't like a built system that's catering for sports athletes
Yeah.
and athletes in Makerere. So that was a problem. So we had very little training time. We literally had like 3 weeks of very, very strict training.
Yeah.
Then after that, when we reach the other side, 5-on-5, you have a whole 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You can even use the whole first quarter to warm up. you're in your zone.
Yeah.
But 3-on-3, the moment you're on, like it's business from second one to the last second. So I guess given that most of us had not played 3-on-3 a lot,
Yeah.
it was taking time for us to adjust at the beginning, or maybe with throughout. You do not stop.
Yeah.
And then 3-on-3 needs a lot of shooting, but for us, we had a driver, we had the big man, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. And
No
our
shooter.
our shooter got issues, and it was her bad day.
But I thought Esther was the shooter.
Yes.
Things happen.
Our shooter got 2 bad days, which was understandable. So imagine we don't have another shooter to rely on.
Yeah.
When I noticed UCU, everyone can shoot, everyone can drive, and everyone can post at some point. But for us, we had one person that's going to drive, one person that's going to post, and one person that's going to shoot.
Yeah.
So it was tricky. We had to fight for every basket. It wasn't easy that I'm going to just shoot and that's it. We had to fight for every basket. We were not taking time to play as a team. We were rushing things.
Yeah.
Even when we're in the lead, the teams were supposed to beat. For example, we lost one game, which was
Kenyatta.
such a tough loss.
Kenyatta.
Yes, it was 3-2.
Yeah.
Such a painful game. We wanted to die.
Yeah.
So that game made us. We beat everyone apart from Kenyatta, 3-2, and then they had to use numbers to table us.
Yeah.
And Rwanda had beat Stellenbosch by a very big range. It was 18-3.
Yeah.
Then us, we were lazy in that game because it was a sure win. So there were very little and small ranges. So it turns out that we ended up being second,
Yeah.
which made us play UCU and not Zambia. So
not Zambia. It was
sorry, Senegal.
yeah.
So those are all things that we're not looking at, because coach told us, had you guys beaten Stellenbosch, the small games are also important.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those small things that mattered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. You talked about having a bad day as a shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I believe that for every game you go for, every tournament or every training session that you go for, there is a certain kind of preparation that you have to, put in. Okay, so you as a shooter, entrusted to shoot for the team, going in and having a bad day. How do you bounce back?
In the very beginning, after it was like all out there, the 4 were selected and all that,
Yeah.
I won't lie, I leaned back a little bit. So I used to go and shoot early in the morning before I go to my internship place for work. But for that last week, I didn't step on court. I just woke up to go for internship. And I felt like the shot is on. It will definitely be on even those days. And then things happened. But one of the things, it is something that it got me thinking that you cannot reach a certain point, you feel like you have achieved, and then you lay back thinking it is all done. You have to like be consistent on everything from the very beginning to the last, so that you like the whole time that you gave in the very beginning does not all go to waste. Because when I leaned back the last week and I used not to go for the morning shooting and all that, it reached in the games and the shots were off. Like it would hit the hoop and then come back to you. It reached a point and my teammates are telling me, Esther, don't shoot. Okay, come inside. Okay, do this. Okay, just drive. Don't shoot. Like it reached a point where they were not now allowing me to take the attempts because it would cost us. We have to fight for the rebound, or else if it's not for the rebound, they have to now fight like to make sure they get the ball back to someone on the top. Like at least we continue having the possession of the ball. So one thing I learned. And I learned from experience, like I cannot do it again. I cannot.
Good riddance.
Because now my back, like, I feel like all the time I invested in the very beginning all went to waste. Just by cheating in the last week. And then when I reached, the energy was too much or it was less. So you just don't give up. You continue until it is the time for the game, so that you're still on form. You realize your hand is moving the other way, because it's a point and my hand was doing this instead of going straight. And I realized that in the game. But whenever you used to, like, you do your trainings and you put that right, you know that the first shot may go wrong, but the other shots are going to be right. So just don't lean back. You just have to continue.
So the lesson is here: don't procrastinate.
I
always say don't become a professional procrastinator. That takes away from you. Well, you're watching the Slam Dunk Basketball Talk on House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel Ateng. In the house, Esther and Bronnie, and like I said earlier, one of these two ladies was in Miss Uganda. We'll be getting to know more about that after the break. Stay here. This is House of Talent Television, Slam Dunk Basketball Talk.
Believe in your skill and your potential to be a good player, because I know there were times when I didn't think I could do it and I wanted to give up, but then my dad, you know, he was there, he pushed me, he would wake me up for training in the morning. When the last day before I had, you know, shots weren't dropping. You know, you just need to have, and you need to have that self-drive, but you also need to have support. So seek for support from your parents. Don't be shy to bring up the idea of, you know, can I go for training today, or maybe can I get a basketball and be dribbling, because you need to be able to not make excuses for yourself. That's a thing that a lot of people subconsciously do. They're like, well, I don't have a court at home, so I can't do anything. But you can get a basketball and learn to dribble, you know. Then when you actually are able to access a court, you'll have a starting point, you know. And also to, you know, just if you love something, give it your all. Because I know there was a time when I played basketball, but I didn't love it, so I was just, you know, going with the flow, not really, I didn't have any sense of direction, I didn't have any goal. But when I started setting goals for myself and actively trying to reach them, that's when I actually started seeing results, like with the national team. I set that as a goal, and you know, it paid off when I got to play, and also the Kenya camp. Because the second I came back from Cairo, you know, I was sleeping one morning, I had slept, would come back, it was the second day we'd been back. I hear a knock at my door, it's my dad. Get up, coach is coming in 30 minutes, be ready. You know, you have to be able to do that for yourself, or have someone who's willing to do that for you. And you know, just look for opportunities to play. I know there's like a lot of people who can't, you know, it's not as simple as just waking up, you know, getting a driver to take you somewhere. But you know, look around, maybe your area, there's like a place you can go for pickup. Maybe you can borrow someone's ball, you know, just if you want it enough, you'll be able to put in the work. Yeah.
To the Slam Dunk Basketball Talk on House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel Ateng. Remember, you can catch us live on our socials, HTV1, on our Twitter. You can go to our website, houseoftalentuganda.com. You can go to our YouTube, House of Talent Uganda live stream, or just go up to our Facebook, catch this show live, share it far and wide. If you know there is someone who needs to be watching this show, especially for the ladies, and I know the guys out there are interested in what's happening here today, just share the show. And with me in the studio today are Esther and Bronny, who are fresh from winning a bronze medal at the FISU Games 3-on-3. By the congratulations, ladies, for that. Before we went for the break, I will talk about how you bounce back, you know, from being a non-shooter, as we'd like to say it on court. Yeah, but it's always good to own up, you know, to the mistakes that you make on court. So, to Bronny, when you realize that one of your teammates is having a bad day or a bad tournament, okay, most of us would maybe shout at them, okay, which would really put them down. All right. So what do you do in such a situation? You as Bronny, okay, when your teammate is having the worst day possible and you know you're supposed to depend on them, okay? What do you do to let the team know that you can do better and to let that player know that, you know what, it's okay. This is basketball.
Number one, for those that have played with me,
Yeah.
you'd know I am not the kind of person that's going to have an emotional breakdown on court. I am never going to shout at someone or anything. So it's something I've very strained myself to do, because personally I do not like to be shouted at.
Yeah.
The moment you shout at me, I am gone. So I would, when she was having a bad day, I would always encourage her. 3-on-3 involves a very simple, what are they called? Subs. I'm
Yeah.
forgetting the word subs. Very simple subbing.
Yeah.
So when she was on court and I was out, I would tell her, "Are you okay? Esther, are you okay? Do you need to sit down? You got this, you know." But you're the coach, because there is no coach.
Yeah.
So every time I was on the bench, because mainly it was her and I switching out, I would make sure I'm talking out to her, because I know her mind is now frustrated.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be her guide and her eyes. I'm telling her, move like this. They're bringing a screen. I'm being her eyes off the court.
Yeah.
So away from 3-on-3, what I usually do is I wait for maybe a break or when the ball goes out, and I talk to my teammate and try to reassure them, because that's what I need right now. I need for their minds to be on this court.
Yeah.
And maybe I can tell them, try to do this, try to do this, try to do something else. I try to avail for them.
Yeah.
And I try to not put them in trouble. So many times when you get stranded,
Yeah.
you don't want to look bad. So you're like, yo, I'm just going to throw this ball to Esther right there. Let her look bad,
Yeah.
you know? So I try so much to make sure I'm creating less situations for my teammate to feel more frustrated.
Yeah.
I'm taking on the burden. Even if she's not playing defense, I'm going to play it for her and then tell her, like, do this and do this. So I try to be as supportive as possible, while inside I'm saying, God, Christ, what is happening?
Yeah, so basically be your sister's keeper on the court.
Yes,
Yeah.
basically.
To Esther, basketball is a team sport,
Mhm.
okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter which sport, even tennis, you know, it's you, the racket and the ball, but behind there's a lot that, you know, goes on. You have the
Yeah.
coaches, you have the trainers and all this. What are some of those things that you guys did off the basketball court to help you gel as a team? Because different characters, okay? And when it comes to ladies, it's even worse. Yeah. So what are some of those things that you guys did while off the court to make sure that the team came together?
Okay, yeah. First of all, the team, I don't know, right from here,
Yeah.
when we were training, we built that bond as a team. Having a bond or team chemistry is one of the biggest things that can make your team either be good or very bad.
Yeah.
So the chemistry between the players, that is one thing. We were connecting off and on court. Like if it was anything, we would, before training, we communicate to each other, are you coming for training? Are you coming for training? That is one thing. We always knew what, where, how, about everyone. Like where are you? What are you doing? We never walked alone, even for the games.
Yeah.
we were together the whole time. If it was to watch a certain team, be like, guys, let's watch this game, and then everyone was given room to speak. I don't know. I was the captain, but I didn't dominate. Yeah. I made everyone feel like this is a very free world. Like, please say whatever I feel like, and it helped us a lot. Like the friendship, we are friends. That was like the biggest thing. First of all, from the very beginning, we're friends. Yeah. So it helped us even connect more, have a chemistry more, know how each other wants to play, how they want you to play. Yeah. When they do this, what they want you to do. So it lessened the issues that might have come up. Yeah, that is like the whole thing. It lessened the issues, the friendship, the bond, the care. Yeah. That is it.
Yeah. Interesting, because I coach a ladies team. And I've coached both of you before. Ladies always have a lot that is happening. Yeah, so for them to bond and come together, I believe that when they actually bond, it's a very strong bond. Mm-hmm. Okay, but lack of that, you guys are student athletes. Mm-hmm. Okay, obviously, you have to study and play basketball at the same time. And like Bronny, you're in the medical field. Okay, and most of the people who are in the medical field, be it pharmacy, be it medicine itself, they always disappear. They feel like there's no time. There's no time to do
attacked.
Yeah. So, how do you balance? Okay, you especially being in the medical field. Okay, how do you balance that with basketball time?
Well, okay. So, I know you know because you're my coach. You know that I'd taken the year off since COVID March because I had a lot. I have a crazy schedule. I study even on the weekends, and I just couldn't also show up for training. So many times I would show up late. Maybe I'm missing something at school to show up, or I'm doing something at school and missing training, and it was showing on the court. And I do not like to do things half-heartedly, so I decided to take a break until I can regather myself and be able to do both of them without losing any of them. But how I try to balance, people have always asked me this. Number one, it's grace of God. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, God, I need to go through this day and I need to do all these things. But it takes a lot of discipline. The things my friends are going to do, but I'll never do them because I don't have time to do it. So you have to have discipline, prioritize, know what you have to do at what time, have a timetable and follow it. No procrastination. I do not get to lay around and say, I'm not in the mood to do this. I either do it at that time or there is no other time to do it. So basically you just have to be committed, be consistent, try to make sure that you're showing up for each, and when you're there 100%. I know when I was training,
The year 2022, and at exactly 25 minutes past the hour of 11 a.m. we stream to you live and broadcast to you live the first ever coffee break show on House of Talent TV. How are you doing? My name is Amoni Mukisa and I welcome you to the coffee break show. Has been your year. 2020 has not been easy, but 2021, I always try to add up 2020 and 2021 as 1 year. But how is your 2022 starting? My name is Amoni Mukisa once again, and I welcome you to the first ever